Hey, my name is Peyton. I'm really new to this. I don't really like being on camera. I used to when I was a kid. I was actually into acting and did plays and stuff like that. But for some reason right now I'm pretty nervous and I don't know why I feel this way. But I really wanted to share this and do this, and I just decided I'm just going to do it. This past year, I got really into vinyl, like super into vinyl. I can't believe it took me this long to really get into it, but that's just how it goes. I was actually with my girlfriend. We were hanging out in our last house, and she had like a vinyl collection, a record player, speakers, and everything. And something was wrong with the vinyl player, the record player. It was, I think the belt was messed up or something. And so I tinkered with it and I got it to work, got everything hooked up. And I think the first thing that I played was, of course, like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And I was like blown away. And like everyone's always told me like, oh, it's just a different experience. Like it's totally different. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, and then continue to listen on Spotify just because it's so convenient and I have my phone with me everywhere, you know how it is. But man, I was like, holy crap, and she didn't even really have like the best record player, like the best speakers. And like, I think the speed was off by like a little bit. So it was faster, but I was still just like blown away. And I was like, I'm sold, I'm done. Like, I'm into this now. So like, we literally went to like two of the local record shops where we lived at the time in Memphis, and I was just like, oh my god, I need this, I need this, I need this. And I spent so much money in like a couple of months, and I didn't even like have my own record player, I didn't have my own speakers or nothing, but I just was like in love with it. And I'm very tactile. I like touching, feeling things. I like experiencing things with my hands and doing things with my hands. So I was just like, yo, like, this is what's up. I'm loving this. So anyways, fast forward, I started getting into that like last spring, April, May, and up to this point, I've gained my record collection. It's grown a whole lot. I got my own speakers. I got my own record player. I've added some upgrades and so it's just been a great experience for me. I really, really enjoy it. Like, it's changed my perspective of music, and I already love music as it is, and it's crazy. So one of the guys that I started following on YouTube is Dillon at Noble Records. He does great videos, tons of cool, just like you must have this, rarest records, things he's spinning, look what I found. And I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's neat. Or I was like, I need to write that down and try and find that one. And he posted a video, just recently, Vinyl Tag 2023, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, cool, what's this? And I had no idea that this was a thing in like the vinyl community where you talk, somebody comes up with 20 questions and you go through and find 20 records and like you talk about it and stuff. And the guy who did it this year, his name is Robert Walker at Let the Music Play, and I'll put a link to his channel down in the description. And most people are doing his questions, but I wanted to do Dillon's questions at Noble Records because like I spent so much time watching his videos last year. He helped me go even deeper into the vinyl community. So I decided I'm just going to go through his and do his questions, and I picked everything out. And I'm just going to do it. And I'm also going to put a link in his description of his channel down in the description below. You can follow it, and I'll put the list of the questions and everything else. So I'm going to get a couple things together. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, question number one. What was your best find of 2022? And mine was Procol Harum's self-titled. It's an import from the UK prog band. Like I said, I love prog music. I'm super into prog. It's kind of my thing. I was like, whoa, dude. Like, I was just going through everything, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I couldn't believe I found it. So stoked to have gotten it. I really like them. You should check them out if you're into prog. Like, it's not super hardcore, not weird. I think it's a good introduction into prog. They've got some good stuff, but I was so amped. It's great condition, you know, and it's actually mono. It's like a Fly Record mono. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, you know, but super stoked to have found that one. Couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is super great. Second question was artist you recently discovered. And I know this is probably a well-known artist, but it's Uriah Heep. I was just going at my local record store here, just kind of going through, and it was one of those like, oh, that seems kind of trippy, kind of a cool, you know, record cover. And I was like, I'm gonna check him out. Looks kind of trippy, maybe proggy, you know, and of course it was proggy, kind of hard rocky, you know, kind of a mix between another great band to get into. So I've kind of just been getting into them, listening to some of their stuff. I don't like all of their albums, but this one was like, I was like, hell yeah, dude, like I can get behind that. Next question was a perfect album. Okay, so I love Rush. Like, I love Rush. Rush is my favorite album, or favorite band of all time, period, hands down, and perfect album to me, start to finish, from the very beginning to the very end. It's just like, hands down, like an amazing album. Like, you hear their songs on the radio all the time still, and even the band members, they're all talk about like, this is like peak of our musicianship, like everything came together, this is us. Like, and I 100% agree. This is an amazing album. Perfect. It's not my personal favorite album, just because like I really like some of their older stuff, but this is still just like amazing stuff. I'm sure there are other Rush fans out there. If you're not, you should be. If you're not into them, that's cool. I've got a controversial pick later in the video, but you'll see what it is. Anyways, question number 4 is a song that made you cry. Well, this album almost brings a tear to my eye every single time that I listen to it. It's Close to the Edge by Yes, another amazing band, prog band. Love them to death. This album in particular is just, God, it's just so many highs and lows and builds and drop downs and quiet. And man, I was, when I listened to this one for the first time on vinyl, I literally like cried. Like, I was just like bawling, and I'm not a crier like at all. Like, my girlfriend hates it. She's like, you're not emotional. You never show emotions. I'm working on it. But this album, God, dude, like, so good. It's just amazing. It's so deep, and just like, it hits me in so many different levels. And like, I seriously, like, even now when I listen to it, I have to like prepare myself. I'm like, all right, here we go. Close to the Edge by Yes. I'm going to do this stuff. And it just, oh man, it makes me like a tear, seriously, like one single tear every single time. Just like amazing. All right, next question. Number 5, a terrible album cover. So I don't really have anything that's like provocative album covers. I don't really have anything like that. It's not, you know, I just haven't picked anything up yet. I'm still like really new into vinyl and collecting and building up my collection and stuff. But just like a terrible album cover, it's just kind of interesting. It's Phil Collins' No Jacket Required. It's just like, he's just staring into my soul, sweating, and just like intense. And like, I mean, it's a great album. I mean, you've got, of course you've got Susudio on here. I mean, it's just so good. Phil Collins is the man, but like, it's like, come on, dude. Like, what's the deal here, man? Like, he's staring deep into my soul, sweating. It's just like, what have you been doing, bro? What's going on? But that's all I really got. It's not really terrible or anything. It's kind of the closest thing I had, so I just went with that one. So, all right, and an album that would surprise your friends. Okay, so a friend of mine, Nolan, he listens to all kinds of music, super into music, and he sent me this song on, I think it was Instagram, or just messaged me on Spotify or whatever, but it's I Can Get Off on You by Waylon and Willie. I'm not super big into country music. I like some stuff, but like, this is just like way out there, and I don't think a lot of my friends would really believe me when I say like I have this album, you know, because Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, like, but that song, like, it's super good. It's super funny, and like all these songs, they just kind of flow and they sound really good. And I was like super into it. So I think this one will kind of surprise some of my friends that I have. Nolan, thanks for letting me listen, suggesting that song to me. I actually really like it. And this is when I was like randomly just going through the country section. Anytime I go, it's like, oh, I wonder if they're going to have that. I thought that'd be pretty cool. And then finally I found it. I was like, yes, I have to find it. And it's actually in like pretty good condition too. So I was pretty stoked for that one. All right. Question number 7, a guilty pleasure. So the first CD that I ever bought for my CD player was, I'm pretty sure it was Smash Mouth's Astro Lounge. And I don't have that on vinyl, but for Record Store Day this past fall, Smash Mouth decided to do Fushu Main. And I was like, dude, I have to get it. Like, I love Smash Mouth. They have like a special place in my heart, They're pretty popular. And the reason it's a guilty pleasure is just because it's just like either you love them or you hate them. I don't find too many people that are just like, oh yeah, they're okay. It's just like, oh, I fucking love Smash Mouth or whatever, And I know that the lead singer had said some questionable things, done some questionable stuff, and I'm not backing him on anything he's done or said. I know he's had a lot of trouble past. I know he lost his son, and he's had some trouble with alcohol, and I can relate to that because I'm, sober alcoholic. But anyways, I love Smash Mouth so much. My girlfriend's just like, she just kind of has to deal with it sometimes because I'm just like blasting Smash. Anyways, and like, this is just, I was so stoked to be able to pick this up. I really hope that they come out with Astro Lounge on vinyl. I think that'd be super cool. I'd be stoked to have that one, but this is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. The album that took you the longest to find. So this is kind of random, and like, I really, like, this band is kind of out there in a way, but like, they're pretty popular, but I never thought that I'd be able to find this on vinyl because they're mainly a CD band. They came out in like late in like the 80s and like super pop. Anyways, but like, it's Marillion's Misplaced Childhood, and I only really wanted it was just because they have Lavender on there, and it's just an amazing song. It's just like, oh yes, so good. And I was just at a record store in Nashville, just like going through their, new arrivals or used or whatever, and I just saw it and I was like, oh yeah, dude, like, gotta get that one. It's gonna be great. And I guess the reason it took me the longest to find is just because I really wasn't ever expecting to find it. I've still got some on my like must-have list that I'm still looking for, but this one was on there and I found it like maybe just in fall of last year. But anyways, this one really fell into that weird category of just like, I would be stoked to have it if I could ever find it, and I finally did. It was like, cool, great, gotta love it. All right, my number 1 most wanted. So this was a gift for my girlfriend last year. She gave this to me after I'm an aircraft maintenance technician, and I went to go to this special school to take all my tests and everything. And that's another story for another day. But she gifted this album for me for passing and getting my license and everything. And it's just like a good job, you did it kind of thing. And like I said earlier, my favorite band is Rush, and she was able to get this album for me. It's in such good condition. It's a German pressing, so there's like random little bits of German on the back and on everything. But I mean, this is like mint almost. Like, it's obviously not in there, but like, there's barely any wear on anything. And like, this is probably my favorite Rush album. Like, personally, it's like, still, it's hard rock. They're not super into their prog stuff yet, but I mean, they're kind of getting in there a little bit, but it hits so hard and it sounds so good, especially on vinyl. And when I crank up the volume on my speakers, it's just like, and like, I just love it. And I've been looking for it. And I haven't been able to find it. And of course, she had to special order this for me But I was just so stoked to get this, like the best girlfriend ever to ever get this for me. And I was just like, this is the first record I played on my record player when I got it, everything set up. Like, this was it. And I was just like, what a perfect way to just christen my record player and just really enjoy this and to start off this hobby even more. I was just so stoked to get it. So my favorite new release of 2022, that I got was Mountain Goats Bleed Out. And I like the Mountain Goats. You know, I like a lot of the older stuff, especially death metal band, best other death metal band out of Denton. And there's some of their crazy, silly other stuff. And I really like them. And they just randomly dropped this. I wasn't expecting it. It was just like, whoa, what is this? A new album by the Mountain Goats. That's cool. So they released a couple of songs and they were just like, oh, dude, this is great. And then I was like, this is going to be a great album. And then all of a sudden it was just like a huge list. And I was like, oh, wow, this is what's up, dude. Every single one of these are bangers, man. And like, especially Bleed Out, like the title track, it's just like, it's super, like you expect it to be super hard and super intense. And it's like, no, not really. Like, it's actually kind of slow and soft and pretty, you know, heartfelt in a weird way, but emotional is the word I was looking for. And then like they were like, we're gonna put this on vinyl, and I was like, oh dude, I gotta get it, you know. And they released it at a record store in Memphis, and I was just like, oh dude, gotta get it. And I think this is the yellow. Yeah, this is like that high vis yellow. It's like super cool, sounds great, super awesome. I was like, super great. Next question, number 11, is an album with an animal on the cover. So I was at a store, what was it? I can't remember the name. It's not typically, it's McKay's in Nashville. And they have a huge vinyl collection. Some of their stuff is like way overpriced. Like way, McKay's, drop your prices on your vinyl. I know what you're doing, stop it. Like way overpriced. And I was just going through and just kind of like looking at stuff. I'm like, wow, that's cool, but I'm not paying that. And then they had this album in there. It's Return to Forever, Romantic Warrior. And this is like super proggy, super weird, like out there, like crazy. And I listened to this album like earlier in the year. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to find on vinyl. Like, I'm probably not going to ever find it. And I saw this, I was just like, oh, I gotta get it, you know. And it's in really good condition. Like, the sleeve has got a little bit of wear, but like, I pulled out the vinyl, I was expecting to see some scratches or some warps, nothing. And it wasn't even like, they weren't even asking that much, because they probably didn't know what it was. And, you know, I mean, they are kind of obscure, but like, still, I was just like, dude, gotta get it. Like, but it, you know, it's got a horse on there, and it's got two doves, you know, but that kind of falls. But I just really wanted to talk about this one, just super proggy, super out there, and I love this band. So check them out if you want to get into some like weird, like night medieval kind of prog music. So number 12, an album with a story. Okay, so an album with a story. So one of my favorite metal bands ever is Animals as Leaders. And this is their newest album that just came out, Parisia. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm going to say it that way anyways. And this album has a story. You know, I've seen them live 3 times. They did a full new album tour this past year in 2022. And I was like, hey, they're going to Atlanta. That was the closest place that they were going to hit. And when we were in Memphis at the time, and I was like, let's go. Like, I want to go and experience. And they had like a VIP package, and like they give you like, you got to go in early, you know, get in, hang out, you know, and you got like the limited edition like gold vinyl if you got the VIP package. And I was just I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care how much it costs. I love this band, and of course, like they killed it. Like, love this band. It's 3 dudes. If you don't know anything about them, 3 dudes. 1 drummer, 2 8-string guitars, and like Tosin Abasi is like a amazing guitarist, and like they're all super musical, and just it's what they can do is amazing. It's like gent metal prog metal, you know, but like, man, like they're so good. God, I love them so much. They're so good. But I guess the story is just like we went to Atlanta. We had a great trip. It was kind of like an early birthday present for me, you know, and I really loved the experience of being able to see them and be a part of all that. And like, this is the third time I've seen them. And, you know, this is like the first VIP package I've ever done for a band. And I just really, really loved it. So, anyways, but this is super great. Check them out. Super great. All right, let's see. An album from a faraway land. Okay, yeah. So this one is an Italian prog rock band called Aqua Fragile. Mass Media Stars is the name of the album, and it's from Italy, and it's like it's still kind of in the original shrink, like it's still and it's like great rock from Italy. And it, like I found this randomly on like a deep rabbit hole of Spotify, and it's like, oh dude, this is freaking great, you know. And same thing, just saw it, my record store had it. I was just like, gotta get it, love those guys. So this is one that I know for sure. They're from Italy, like super cool, you know, proggy, great stuff. My latest rabbit hole, number 14. So this is like the newest rabbit hole. And it is Pharoah Sanders, amazing saxophone, jazz player guy, like, and I'm still really getting into jazz. I'm still getting into this whole thing, and it's so much, like, I'm still, like, really new to it. But a buddy of mine named Hud, we were together, a buddy of ours got married. We were there hanging out, just talking about music. He's, like, super crazy, knows a lot about music, and he was like, hey, man, you ever heard of Pharoah Sanders? And I was like, no, dude. He was like, oh, you got to check him out. Like, crazy, awesome saxophone player. And he was like, if you ever look, he was like, I always try to find Pharoah Sanders stuff when I go check out records. So, and I was like, I'm going to do that. So, like, I'd always go and look, and I couldn't find anything. And come to find out, like, he passed away this year. So, like, of course, like, a bunch of people probably buying up all this stuff, getting everything together. But they came out with this one. It's, you know, the London Symphony Orchestra. It's super quiet, beautiful with him playing, like. But this is my rabbit hole now. I feel like I'm about to get into this and really try to get into Pharoah Sanders and more jazz and stuff and really kind of get into all of it. So this is kind of the start of the rabbit hole, but I kind of fell into it. So let's see, number 15. The artwork doesn't match the music. This is one I literally bought just for the album cover. You know, and it's like The Hermit, if you're into tarot or anything like that. And of course it looks like, you know, Zeppelin's album. And I was just like, that looks cool. I'm going to get it. I don't even know who John Renbourn is, you know. And then I come to find out it's like this super like cool guitar, like acoustic guitar player, super talented. Like, whoa, that's freaking awesome, you know. And like, so I just put it on, and I was like, this is great. Like, I had no clue what I was getting myself into, and I think this falls into that. I was expecting maybe some, like, weird, like, you know, like, metal, or maybe, like, some, like, just rock music or something, maybe prog. I was like, well, that'd be cool, but nope, super chill, amazing acoustic, and I was like, I'm pleasantly surprised. So I think this definitely falls into the doesn't look like the music at all. Let's see. Best bargain find. Best bargain find was probably this one for sure. There's probably a few I had that were bargain, but like I think just for the condition of this album that it was in and for the price, this was like I got it for like $3. And this is like Supertramp's like one of their most well-known albums, like bangers from start to finish. Super good. And like the condition of this was like really, really good. I was just like, dude, like, oh my God, like $3, I gotta get it. Like, I mean, it's got a little bit of wear, but I was just like, oh my God. And like, I was thinking maybe like it'd have some scratches or surface noises. No, nothing. Great, amazing. Like, it's so well done. So definitely, I was like, for $3, I'm getting it. Let's see. I'm gonna drink some coffee real quick. All right, let's see. Next question. An album that takes you back to a specific time. All right, so it's going to be MGMT's Oracular Spectacular. This came out in 07, and I graduated high school in 09, and like this was like the album. Like, oh my, everyone loved this album. Like, everyone was playing it, everyone was into it, and it's just like so many crazy experiences and like things that I've done and memories listening to this album, and like some things like I'm not proud of that I did, you know, just being a stupid kid. But definitely every time I listen to this album, it takes me back to being a kid in high school and like really jamming out to this stuff, doing silly things with friends and just like hanging out, playing this stuff. And dude, like, I think this is one of the only ones that albums that I can definitely listen to every time, and it always does that. Each song, I'm like, oh, I remember when I was doing this. Oh, I remember when this happened, and you know, and like this is pretty popular now. Like everyone listens to it. Everyone knows MGMT. Like they're crazy big now, you know. And of course, I had to add it to the collection, and it's the cool pink, hot pink, or you know, it's like matte pink. But I was like, dude, this is super great. But yeah, this one always takes me back to being a stupid kid in high school. All right, a couple more here. So a wild card, basically wild card. He was like, it's whatever you want to talk about. I just want to talk about Rush's 2112. This is the 40th anniversary edition. I got it as a gift for Christmas. Rush 2112, just like every single time I listen to this album, like I have a new experience with it. Like it hits me so differently every single time. Like I will hear something new, like the lyrics mean something different, or it hits me on like some other deep level where I'm just like, oh man, like what's going on, you know? And like, and to think that this was their like Screw You album. Like they had just done, oh crap, I don't even sound like a real Rush fan. They just did, they just did Caress of Steel, and like nobody liked that album. Everyone was just like, what is this? This is your terrible. And then they were just like, we're doing this, we're doing 2112, this is what we want to do, screw you guys, we're doing this anyways. And like, boom, instant, like everyone was just like, whoa, this band is next level. And like, to think that like this could have been it for Rush. Like nothing else could have been done. The record label could have just been like, you're done, you're out of here, you're done. And they were all just like, okay, we're gonna do what we want. I don't care what you have to say. We're not making hits. We want to do this. And it just, oh, it's so amazing. I just really love Rush. This album, it just means so much to me, and it hits me on so many different levels. It's just, it's so good. But that's all I really want to talk about. Just random card. Probably not random, just because of how much of a Rush fan I am. Oh boy. Okay, an album or artist you can't get into. So I'm gonna make so many people mad. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. Everyone's gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? I cannot get into the Beatles. I can't get into the Beatles. I used to like them when I was younger, you know, because like everyone was like, oh, the Beatles, you gotta love the Beatles, listen to the Beatles. And I listened to them and I was like, yeah, I like the Beatles. Hey Jude, you know, Abbey Road, you know, like I'm the Walrus, Goo 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 Goo, blah blah blah. And I just can't get into them. Like I can't. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep going. I mean, I respect them as artists. I do. I respect them, and like what they were able to do in their time span as a band is just amazing. Just something about it just doesn't hit me like it does a lot of people. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep going and getting into it. You know, but I don't know. Bash on me as much as you want. I'm gonna keep trying. I promise. I can't get into them. I can't. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick second. I'm gonna drink some coffee, kind of readjust, and then I'm gonna finish out with the last question, which is vinyl aspirations for 2023. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, cool. Just need to take a breather. Like I said, I'm still not used to this. This is all so new to me. I don't even know if I'm gonna do anything else. But you got to start eventually. You got to start somewhere, and this is a start. Maybe this will take me somewhere. Who knows? But I just really wanted to do this. But the last question was, is vinyl aspirations of 2023. And I think really it's just going to be just to experience new music, try new things, you know, buy stuff that I don't really know much about the band, like try listening to different stuff, you know, because I'm still trying to build my back catalog of like must-haves, you know, things that I just want to have on vinyl. But you know, there's nothing wrong with just being like, you know what, I'm going to listen to this band. I'm going to try this guy out. Don't know anything about him. Am I going to like it? I don't know. So I'm going to, I guess, take more risks than buying some vinyl, you know, try new things. I think I think I want to also learn more about just music itself, you know, how things are mixed and mastered and understanding levels. And so, I mean, I know that's kind of like not really like 100% like vinyl stuff, but you know, I'm adding to my system, I'm adding upgrades, you know, and I just want to understand, like, when I add this, this is going to mean this, and ohms, and all this other stuff, and, you know, and I think just take more risks, listen to new music, stuff that I normally wouldn't listen to, try out different bands, educate myself more, and oh, another thing is, I guess, be more involved in the vinyl community. I can be kind of private. I'm not super big into just talking to a bunch of different people. I have like close friends and close people that I'm really, really close with, but just like talking to a bunch of people and being involved and doing something, like, it's really not my thing. But I guess this could be a start, you know, get to know more people in the vinyl community, talk about stuff, talk about bands, hey, you should check out this, you like this, you should check out that, like, because, you know, that's what all this is about. And I really am excited for this year, especially with vinyl. I'm going to keep looking for the stuff I want, try new things out and keep it going. So I don't know if I'm going to do any more videos. I don't know if this is it, if this is just like a one and done, who knows, you know, but you know, it's a place to start and you got to start somewhere. But I really hope you like it. If I really get into this, I'll probably add some things, change some stuff, lighting, you know, this is just on my phone in my room, like no like microphone or nothing, you know, nothing. So I really hope you like it, you know, comment down below if you want more, if you ever see it, like it, all that YouTube stuff. So I guess that's it. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch this.